Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics, and you may remember last week we set up that 40-gallon breeder right there for some multis that we pulled out of the 50-gallon lowboy. And the really cool thing, at least I thought what was really cool, is we added that background, that Universal Rocks 3D background. I mentioned in that video that we were going to be doing a second tank with a cheaper version of that background. So what we did is we also ordered one of these, and this is another Universal Rocks background. It's a different color, obviously, and it's not as 3D as you can see here. It's a relatively flat piece, but I think it's going to be cool because we're going to put it in a 20-gallon. Now, some things I already like about it, it's going to be super easy to install. Just like with the last one, we're going to go ahead and use silicone around the top and the sides. We're going to press that to the back of the tank. We're going to use some clamps to clamp it down. We'll put the sand and the rocks in to kind of push it against the back, leave it for 24 hours, and then we'll be able to rescape it tomorrow. So I like this because when I originally ordered this, I was off by about 1/4 inch in terms of the length. And what I was able to do was take a pair of scissors. Because it is so thin, I could take scissors, cut along the one side. It fits now perfectly. And we're gonna go ahead and start getting this thing set up. I've got some really cool fish, many of which you have not seen, or it's been a really long time since you've seen them. So I think I'm really going to enjoy the setup of this tank. I hope you do too. Hope you enjoy the video. So this is the tank that we're going to be setting up. It's a 20-gallon, and it really was just kind of housing some random fish, and it was more or less Joanna's plant stash tank. So when she needed plants and she didn't have anywhere to put them right away, she'd throw them in here. It's right next to our Caudopunk tank, which has now also turned into a mystery snail breeding tank. So there's a lot going on there. So if you look over here, then this tank is going to be redone. Like I said, it really wasn't being used for anything special. So this is the start of it. It's a nice clean slate. Luke did a great job once again of cleaning it out. By the way, if you wanted to see the multi-tank that we did last week, I'll put that link down in the description below. So just like last week, I went ahead and I used the Aquarium safe silicone all around the edges. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing against the tank. So this is how the back is going to be attached. We've got some stuff with some weight. That's just gonna go ahead and press down on it, keep the silicone and the back of the tank intact and connected. So we're gonna wait about a day, come back tomorrow and get everything scaped. So this is the 20-gallon rescape that Joanna did. I am super excited about this tank for a couple reasons. One, she basically took one of the ugliest tanks that we have in the fish room and turned it into one of the nicest looking tanks that we have, I think. And two, we did something we haven't done before, and that is we went with more of the earth tone sort of scape in this. And you can see it, this is the Universal Rocks background here. Again, it was a much cheaper version than the one I showed you last week, which is pretty cool. I'll link that in the description below. But also, you know, we went with the brown sand. She kind of did something different with the driftwood, and I just liked the way that she used the jungle valve throughout. So I wanted kind of like a river bank sort of feel to this scape, or maybe like the side of a lake, and I think she really accomplished that. Now let's talk a little bit about what's going on in this tank. So yes, we've got our driftwood, we've got some river rocks that we picked up from one of our local landscaping places. The sand is Carib Sea Naturals, which we've been using a lot lately. The plants. So the plants, we do have some jungle val, we have a little bit of crypt growing in, and we also have some anubias. The only thing that's filtering this tank is the one sponge filter you see on the right-hand side. And then we've got a little bit of hornwort floating at the top as well. Now in terms of the inhabitants, these are all fish we already had in the fish room. I just wanted to give them a better place to live. So we got the cory cats over there on the left-hand side. They're kind of swimming around. We have some furcata rainbows. We had 4 of them in a tent, kind of a quarantine tank. And then we had these limia, and I really love these fish, and I wanted to give them a better spot than they had, which was just a 10-gallon grow-out tank. We also have a couple lizard tail plecos, L10As. I love these fish. I suspect once we really get this thing settled in, they're probably not going to come out very often, but that's just kind of what they do. And we also have 3 blue mystery snails, and those were in this tank before. So this is a really great setup. I really like what she did with this tank. Super excited about it. I don't think we're going to add anything more. I think this is just a nice tank where maybe if the limia start breeding, that would be pretty cool. That's really kind of our goal here. It's just to have a tank that's really enjoyable to look at, and I think it was well done. The lighting on this tank is a Phoenix Stingray. It's actually a 48-inch light because it's actually lighting both the Caudopunk tank and then this one that we see right here. So it's very good for these plants. It'll be more than sufficient. I suspect what's going to happen in the next couple days is this tank is going to darken up considerably as tannins are leached out from that driftwood, which I'm totally okay with. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video, found it useful, and if you did, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.